Hi, I'm Catrina Demonteverde with IdeateTV, and we are at AlienCon in Los Angeles, California. I have here Robert Clotworthy. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. He is an actor and a voice actor, and most popular right now is Ancient Aliens on the History Channel. So tell me about this work that you're doing there.
Well, I've been the narrator since the very beginning, and I have a kind of a little bit of a story as to how I got the job. Is that the producer of the show, Kevin Burns, who I'd worked with before, we did a couple of documentaries, he said, Robert, I've got this new show. It's called Ancient Aliens. And I said, well, Kevin, tell me a little bit about it. So he explained the premise of the show, and he said, Robert, what do you think? I said, Kevin, I have 3 questions. The first one is it possible? The second one is, could it be? And the third question is, what if it were true? And he said, Robert, I need to know, are you in or you're out?
Yeah.
And I said, Kevin, ancient astronaut theorists say yes.
Do you believe?
I'll tell you what, I'm like the audience.
Okay.
And the producer of the show, Kevin, he describes himself as being agnostic but open to the information.
Okay.
So it's my job to be his voice. So essentially what I am is I'm asking the question. When I say, is it possible or could it be? Those are legitimate questions. These are the questions that people have been asking since we first started walking upright on the planet. We look up at the skies and wonder, are we alone? Is there anybody out there? Is there a purpose to life? So those are the questions that we address in the show. We have the theorists come in and they give you what they think might be the answers, and it's up to the audience to decide.
Got it. So for the audience who aren't familiar with the show, can you tell us more about it?
It's basically based on Eric von Daniken's book, Chariots of the Gods, who actually is here at the convention. The man is in his 80s now, and he's pretty much the grandfather of ancient astronaut theory, and it basically posits whether we have been influenced as humans by extraterrestrial intervention in the past, and is it still happening in current day? And as, I guess, what used to be theories that were outside of the mainstream, it seems now it's becoming more and more mainstream. When you open up the newspaper or turn on the television, it seems that every other day there's some new information about UFOs, even if it's just naval pilots who are tracking them over Catalina, which is just off the coast of California.
Yeah.
So I think it would be difficult to say that we are completely alone in the cosmos. The question is, have we been visited by people from another planet? We don't know. Who knows? And who am I to say that those people that say that they have had those experiences are wrong? Because all it takes is for one person to be right, for it all to be correct.
Yeah, no, very true. So thank you for telling me about the background. How did you get started in your acting life and voiceover acting?
Well, my father was a producer of television commercials. I grew up in Los Angeles, and I was one of those kids that always wanted to get into the business. So I started working professionally when I was 15, and I started off kind of with a bang. I mean, the first audition I went on for a commercial, I booked it, and the third one, the fifth one, and after that I just kept working and working and working, and I did all those crazy shows in the 70s. I was on the Waltons, MASH, Rockford Files, Emergency. I mean, all those shows, and then I eventually segued into voice work, and part of the reason was because when I was a kid, my father would take me to recording sessions that he was at for radio, and he would bring in these amazing voice artists. The Dawes Butlers, the Mel Blancs, the June Forets, the Jerry Stiller and Ann Mira. He would bring them in, and I would watch them work, and it just seemed like so much fun.
Yeah, you knew.
And
you knew.
yeah, and essentially as an actor, I mean, I don't take all of this too seriously because I realize I'm very fortunate to be doing what I'm doing, and in a sense, I'm still playing in the sandbox. I'm doing the same stuff that I was doing as a kid, but now I'm an adult and getting paid for it. And even though I was having a great time at 16, I mean, it was a blast. Imagine at 16-year-old, you're making money, and all your friends are slinging burgers, and I'm going to working with I worked with Peter Sellers when I was a kid. I was working with Charlton Heston. I mean, you name it, I was working with everybody. So I had a ton of fun. But now I'm actually having more fun, because I think the maturity of having gone through the years helps, and I have a greater appreciation for it. And it's just a ton of fun. I mean, it's a blast. I mean, what you're doing, does it feel like you're working,
Yeah,
or you're
no,
just having
yeah,
fun?
this is
Exactly,
fun 'cause I
exactly.
get to know people.
Yeah, exactly. And I get to come to this convention, and I get to meet people here, and it's just it's like a love fest where they come up to me, and it's funny, and I'm a people person anyway, so
Yeah.
so it's a lot of fun for me.
I can feel the passion. I mean, like the way you talk about what you do,
Yeah.
it's just so apparent.
Yeah.
So what was your first commercial? Because you said you booked your first commercial.
Yeah,
what was it?
For, it's actually kind of a funny story because it was for Gaines Burgers with Cheese, which was a dog food where it came in like a little burger patty, and this one actually had cheese in it. And I played this. I remember they described the outfit that I was wearing as an ill-fitting suit, where I was this teenager and I was at an adult party, which is at my house, and I felt uncomfortable because I was wearing this ill-fitting suit, and I was looking around and there's all these adults, and what am I going to do? I'm just a kid, and I see my little dog in the doorway. So I went over to the dog and go into the kitchen, and I sit down with him and I feed him the Gaines burgers, and we're having this bonding moment. It's really sweet and fun. And of course, the end of the commercials, all the people are looking in and checking it out and laughing. But the funny part of the story is it was supposed to be a one-day shoot, and it ended up going into a second day because for whatever reason, it might have been because as a kid who's only 15, you can only work me so many hours during the day. And I remember that night, I was supposed to go to my first rock concert. My father had gotten me tickets to go see The Who, who are going to be performing live, which is still my favorite group. And he said, "You can't go." And I said, "What do you mean I can't go?" He said, "You're working tomorrow. You can't go."
And how old were you?
I was 15 years old. And I realized, I said, sometimes you have to sacrifice something for something else. So even though it was hard, it taught me taught me discipline. That and to prioritize what's important. And Dad, I still don't forgive you, but
he thanks you
but
too.
I thank you at the same time. Yeah.
That's great. So what got you involved in Alien Con?
Well, as being part of the show, and I don't know if I'm stretching it by saying I'm one of the stars of the show. If not on camera, I'm the person that says the most words. You hear me more.
Oh yes, of course.
So I think it was natural that they wanted to include me in it, and also they need somebody that can introduce everybody else to some of the panels, somebody that's got a little bit of a stage experience, because a lot of these guys and these women, they're scientists. They're not as comfortable in front of a crowd or in front of people as I am. So I kind of go out there and do my little song and dance and introduce people, and it's fun. So yeah, I love being here.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for your time. It was amazing and so interesting learning about what you do and also your past. So thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank
you're
you.
welcome.
Thank you.
I'm
Bye, all.
Catrina with IdeateTV.